Do you know Albert Bourla, the chief executive of Pfizer? Here he is with the self-styled president of Europe, Cruella von der Leyen, demonstrating how not to social distance. What's the German for incoming tongue sarny? Anyway, when he's not putting the moves on Cruella, Pfizer's head honcho is mostly famous for coming down with the COVID every 2 months. You can set your clocks by that. Headline from CNN. Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla tests positive for COVID-19 again. How about that? He's boosted up the wazoo, but you're not meant to get another booster until 3 months after your last dose of COVID. So Mr. Bourla getting the virus every 2 months is really playing havoc with his booster schedule. Anyway, given that the Pfizer vaccine doesn't appear to work for the bloke who unleashed it on the world, you'd think we'd all be allowed to express some mild skepticism about the thing, but not over at what's that place called? Talk Radio? Talk TV? It's the new station Rupert Murdoch launched after he decided to leave Jerry Hall for Piers Morgan, which no one has ever done before. Anyway, Rupert gave Piers all his money, and the result is this new station, Piers Morgan Uncensored. Piers may not be censored, but everybody else is. John Watt got the Pfizer shot, and it ruined his life. So he called up Petri Hosken on Talk TV, and she said, oh, we can't talk about that because Pfizer has very deep pockets.
I'm sorry, there are laws, John, and there are laws of defamation. There are these companies have got massive pockets and they can sue. And that's why, you know, I'm going to have to, I'm really going to, sorry, but I'm going to have to call an end to the conversation, because I've asked you not to mention the company name, and you have done several times. And they are not here to defend themselves, right? And we can't be, you know, giving out information that these things happen without emphatic medical proof that they do. So I'm sorry, I hope you understand that it is not possible for me to continue having a conversation if you keep mentioning the name of the company who's got very deep pockets, and I haven't, and I don't want to get sued. So, John, thank you. And I'm sorry you're unwell. I really am. I'm sorry you're unwell, whatever it caused it.
Fantastic. Well, you'd have very deep pockets, as the lady says, if you'd sold a bazillion shots of the happy juice to hundreds of millions of people around the world who didn't need to take it. Yet Petri Hosken hung up on John Watt. Incidentally, whenever we have vaccine victims on this show, we always invite AstraZeneca or whoever it is to respond, but they never do. So under Ms. Hosken's rules of balance, you can never have any discussion of what ruined John Watt's life. Petri Hosken just gave the game away there. John Watt joins me now. John, how did you feel at being hung up on by Talk TV?
I don't think I can say the words I want to say, Mark, if I'm being completely honest with you, but she just, like you said, mate, she just gave the game away. She just completely and utterly gave the game away, and the whole situation and the whole, I don't understand what's going on in the mainstream media. You know, I'm trying to tell Petra, now Petra's trying to say, oh, how do we know this caused it? Well, Petra, let me show you this right here, right now. This is in 9 pages of adverse reactions from Pfizer that were released back in February. Now, let me go to page 7 here, where it says here, highlighted, as you can all see in the UK right now, it says postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. So there you go, Petra. You didn't let me get to finish what I had to say. Petra, if you hear this, I want you to understand, people like you in the mainstream media are doing more damage than good by not speaking about the truth, and people like myself. You don't have deep pockets. Well, let me tell you, Petra, I've had to have deep pockets. I've spent over £20,000 to try and get to this position that I'm in just now, and my heart rate is going through the roof.
Just on that point, you've had to launch which again, she hasn't had to do, and Pfizer is in no danger of doing. You've had to launch a GoFundMe page to try and raise money to cover that £20,000 of medical bills. I mean, that's a real huge sum. And there are people like you in Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales, England, and yet you're invisible to the British media.
It's around the world, mate. It's around the world, Mark. This is happening around the world. I speak to millions of people around the world. The mainstream media, you need to understand what you're actually doing right now is you're actually causing more harm than good. There's people out there that we speak to that have taken their own lives. You guys need to start doing the right thing. Yep. Mark Steyn, we appreciate what you've done. People like Bev Turner and Matt Letizia, you guys will go down in history for the right reasons. But people like that's disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting. Yes, I've had to do a GoFundMe. I done the GoFundMe back in February, March, because I heard of a treatment called Goldic, and the good people of Glasgow, Scotland, and people that seen my story back then donated about 10,000. I think it's up to £14,000 now. We've also spent about £7,000 of my own money now. This is just criminal what's going on. I'm in a very fortunate position, but there's millions, there's thousands in the UK, millions around the world that aren't in the position that I'm currently in just now to do that, Mark. And it's just disgusting what they're doing just now, you know.
What I find fundamentally dishonest about her position, though, and I take it, you know, Mr. Murdoch is on board with this, is that under the rules she set, we can never talk about what happened to you because Pfizer and AstraZeneca and Moderna and all the other fellas involved in this simply don't reply. When you ask them, well, we've got someone here, her husband died of it and she's got a coroner's inquest verdict saying you caused it. Would you like to respond to that? Oh, no. They don't even reply. And under this woman's rules, it means people like you can never be talked about.
It says on the programme, have your say. The discussion was, now, the thing was, Mark, I watched, there was a rerun of, what's his name? That guy that's on the programme, Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan, he wanted to raise awareness for birds. He brought a woman out dressed like a pigeon, and he wants to raise awareness for birds. You want to raise awareness for birds, pal? And then I was in the middle of writing a tweet, and then this talk show came on, and it said, have your say, talk about benefits. So I was going to tell them why I was in the position I was in, and possibly why I have to go on benefits. The reason I have to go on benefits is because of that Pfizer booster vaccine, and that's a fact. These people need to understand, again, I keep saying it, they're doing more harm than good. And there's a little absolute cretin that is in the jungle right now, that little rodent, Matt Hancock, asking people for forgiveness. Yep. Well, Matt Hancock, believe you me when I say it, there's many of us that don't agree with you. And your other mate, Boris Johnson, your ball bag, trust me when I say it, you're not forgotten about and what you've done. Because, like I say, a lot of people, you need to understand, the facts are coming out about this every single day. The more you back this thing, the more you're looking like idiots. You're actually looking like absolute idiots. The more and more, every single week or month, there is more facts about these vaccines coming out, and these are doing more harm than good. There are children that they're trying to give this thing to. Like I say, there's other people as well I wanted, you know, there's that little guy you've got in GBN News, Benjamin Butthole and Carol Malone and all that, sitting there many months ago, you know, with Bev Turner. Well, Bev Turner, let me tell you, sweetheart, you're absolutely right. You were absolutely right in everything you said.
No, I don't mind you unloading on them, because if you look at these people, Matt Hancock's getting 400 grand as a so-called celebrity, a failed health secretary who gave into hysteria and forced this shot, as the rest of the government did, on people like you. You were a fit, healthy man. You did boxing. We've got some, let's see the footage of John doing his boxing thing. This is how John used to be before the Pfizer got to him. Have we got the boxing footage? Look at him. Look at it. He's a healthy man. He didn't need to stick this thing in his body. Matt Hancock and the Prime Minister and even Her Late Majesty all somehow signed on to be Pfizer's PR guys. And the result has been the ruination of too many lives. Thank you very much, John. We're going to stay on this, and we're going to hold these people who still now refuse to talk about it. We're going to hold them to account. Thank you very much, John. A terrible thing that happens to you. We're going to continue talking about that with Tonya.